Welcome, reefers of all walks of life. This is Acro Breeder, and this is my update for June 2020. This is my 40-gallon breeder acro tank. Did some heavy fragging of this red table last month, starting to heal over. I'm having a little bit of an outbreak of Cyanobacteria. I battled this previously in this tank for almost a year. I started dosing Vibrant, and it went away. I recently stopped using Vibrant and it's back, so I need to purchase another bottle, get back on that regimen, dosing it once or twice a week. I knocked out a few more colonies here. I'm trying to get rid of the basic greens, kind of upgrade to something a little more interesting. Got a little side project here. I bought some vases from a discount outlet store. So for a few bucks, I threw in some sand and rock I had laying around. Couple red mangroves. The concept I'm going with here is I'm gonna treat these as bonsais and just kind of over time trim them and make them look appeasing. I'm just gonna keep one here on the table. I gotta find another place for the other one. I got a hermit crab and a snail in here, kind of getting the ecosystem going. I'm feeding it lightly, a few flakes here and there. Was doing some thinking, and thoughts consisted of my jealousy towards my fish. Yes, they are eating $55 a pound breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I would just never splurge and spend that much money on myself. So I'm a little jealous. I've been using Rod's Original, and a 6-ounce package is approximately $22. So the price per pound on that's about $55. Meanwhile, I'm eating some $12 a pound Gulf Coast shrimp. Gonna do a little boil here, some cocktail sauce. So I've seen other videos of other YouTubers, reef keepers making their own food. I'm gonna give it a go. I have a 4th generation KitchenAid stand-up mixer. It's my great grandmother's, rest in peace. I purchased a grinder attachment off of Zon. It was approximately $50. It's an off-name brand. The shipping weight was the same as the KitchenAid brand. So I figure it's about the same amount of metal. Could even come out of the same factory. Who knows? It was half the cost. I believe the KitchenAid grinder attachment was a little over $100. So I'm gonna give it a shot. I'm not gonna try to run any like severely frozen seafood through it. I think this may give the gearbox and this old baby some issues. So this is my blend. I got the large PE mysis. I got the Hikari regular mysis. I have a seafood delight. It's a blend of I believe nori, some moss, some Jamaican moss. Got a reef plankton, which I believe is a Calanus only. And I have rods, fish eggs. I got PE Calanus. Stuff is pretty pricey over the San Francisco brand. I'm not too sure why. I'll put both in there, why not? What else? I got some swordfish. I got some cod. I got some eyeballs and faces from blue crabs, trimmed off of soft shell crabs. Delicious. I got Florida pink shrimp, some scallops, and I got about a dozen clams here I'm gonna shuck. Got some dry goods. I got PE flakes, some Polyp Lab Reef Roids, Polyp Lab booster amino acids. I'm gonna put that in there. I don't know if the freezing's gonna damage it, but yeah, why not? And I got 2 different size pellets. So my plan is to kind of chunk up this larger seafood, run it through the grinder. I'm gonna grind up the larger mysis as they're pretty big, and then the smaller foods I'm not gonna grind up. I'm just gonna add it into the grinds afterwards. Got my water coming to a boil here. See how this goes. All right, I got the shrimp in the water here. The grinder on low. This is the Florida pink shrimp. Seems to be easy work for her. We'll take a break here in a second and eat these shrimp. I'm gonna do a little test here. I have the smallest plate, you know, the grind size plate. It came with 3. This is the smallest one. I'm gonna check kind of the grind size and see if the fish enjoy it. If it's too small, I'll change the plate size. So let's see how this works out. That looks like an appropriate size. Oh, they're loving that. And that's just the Florida pink shrimp. Let's see if the A-cans have grabbed anything. Doesn't appear. Alright, so I'm going to go with that grain size. Well, that ended up being a lot more than I thought, but I'm still happy with this ratio of raw seafood to your standard mysis and egg mixture. I'm going to mix these two together. I wish I had a bigger bowl. And then I'm going to bag it up, make some flat packs, and load up the freezer, and hopefully I'm done for the year. Got everything in one bowl here. I just need to add the pellets and the flakes, reef roids, amino acids. I'm going to mix it up, a little RO water, and put it in some Ziplocs. Delicioso! I'm happy with the results. I did a little test feeding on both tanks. The corals went wild for it, slimed up, put their guts out. Fish gobbled it up. The designer mixed coral and fish food definitely gets its kind of orangish dark color from the dehydrated phytoplankton. In this case, I used the polyp lab. There's a good 100 grams or so in here. Hopefully this makes it through the year. I'm pretty happy with the results. All right, an hour and $100 later, I believe I have a year's supply of fish food. Should save the pocket a little bit, keeping me out of the store, making impulse purchases. Hopefully this works out, and this is going to be my new go-to procedure. Maybe once a year, once every 6 months. We'll see how long it lasts. Gonna have to do some testing maybe here a month down the road and see what my nutrient levels are like. You know, I don't know how much water is in the premium brands that I've been buying. So I'm gonna kind of dose the same volume, but it's hard to say if it has the same nutrient content. So I'll get back to you later on that. Purchase a 20-pound box of Life Rock Shapes Tonga branch. I'm going to epoxy several of these branches together and re-aquascape the far end of my 75-gallon. I'm officially an artiste. This is an hour's worth of work. I use zip ties to temporarily hold the branches in place and use the epoxy to affix it. I just removed the zip ties. I'm going to come in and add a little bit more epoxy at these joints. This is what I came up with. I had to bust the end off of one of the pieces to make it, you know, look appropriate, to put the points of the branches in a position that's going to be adequate for an acropora to grow. This one square here is going to be one of my vertical gyres. The other one's going to be right here. And then this is the overflow box. So I should be able to shoot flow on either side of this pile, and it should work out nicely. I'm gonna let it dry overnight, and then I'm going to start working on hammering the few pieces I have in here out. I gotta take this green slimer, this millipora, a couple hammers. So I'm going to remove that from the rock pile that's in here, take it out, put in the new branches, and re-adhere these few colonies to the tips, as well as these new frags. I kind of just put them here on the shelf temporarily. I did not dry fit it in the tank, so I hope my measurements on this cardboard work out. Otherwise, I'm going to be in pretty big trouble here. But I think it should work out. We'll see tomorrow morning. Loving this new scape. I'm really glad I went ahead with this project. I had been contemplating it for a while. Have a green slimer here at the peak. Eventually I will remove this. It's just going to shade out the other frags over time. Gotta find somebody that wants a piece of green slimer this big. I made a trade with a local reefer, Alex. I'll leave a link to his Instagram in the video description. He takes some really amazing photos of his full-grown designer colonies. I'm gonna have to get with him in the future, and maybe he can teach me some tips. I'm really clueless when it comes to photography. Made a trade. I got an orange passion from him, a Walt Disney, a strawberry shortcake, and some reef raft pieces. Shing-a-ling-a-ding-dong, not sure exactly, but they are nice. So it was real nice to meet someone in the area that was willing to make some trades. Saves us both some money. And it's good to have somebody you could maybe rely on in the future if you have a loss, to get a piece of something back. So here's my Tonga scape. I got a hammer there kind of in the middle. I may just get rid of this entirely. Not really feeling the LPS. So what do you guys think? I'm loving it. Over time, when these pieces crust over the tips and start growing out, I feel like it's going to be really stunning. Before, with just kind of the random rock pile, it wasn't really adding anything to this other mountain. My Zoa tank, making really good improvements this month. I've fed the new fish food that I made for maybe the last 3 or 4 days and increased the nitrates and phosphates drastically. And that's all these Zoas needed. I just had too low of nutrients. So the tank's kind of going through another cycle here with the added feeding, but hopefully it sorts itself out. The Zoas stay open. This Gorgonian is happy. Seahorses are still doing good. I'm approaching 1,000 subscribers, and I want to do another coral giveaway. Probably do, maybe a 20-25 frag giveaway. So just keep watching, and when I get to 1,000 subscribers, I'll announce that and the rules to enter. All right, thanks for watching.